I mean, I think, like you
know.
said, I think that's a good thing to put out on Front Street, just to be like, hey, you know, like these guys are not ideologically tied to one, you know, one side or the other. So, you know, their opinion may.
I'm old and I got bad nerves, so anybody could get accidentally popped. I'm just saying that.
Can't say that on camera.
Oh, okay, but I'm just saying. We'll bleep that part out. But that shit is real. That shit is. And let's be honest. The temperature now, with everything that's going on, and I mean, we can include these ICE raids. We can include the crazy crap that's going on, and there are other unseen things that are about to take place that people aren't talking about. That, you know, I guess I should have threw it up on the list, but it's really going to drive this shit crazy. And, you know, like, see, you said earlier, it's like it just needs to be addressed. Put it out there now, because you don't want me looking over my shoulder. That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess we can go ahead and do that right after we finish this topic. Might as well go ahead and knock it out.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, let's.
But as far as we got a minute left on this one, let's go ahead and at least present what the actual facts of why they are here, what they are doing, and how it lines up with the legal. Well, like what are the legalities of it at the very least? Like, as far as is it legal for them to, you know, just be raiding apartment complexes, buildings, and businesses and stuff? Are they doing it legally? Are they obtaining the proper warrants and judge sign offs and stuff, or are they, working off of like a tip of like, hey, like we heard that it's a bunch of illegals working here or living here, we just gonna bust it down?
Yeah, but then it falls on the employer, like, you know. But then it gets so deep to where, hey, they're filing taxes, they're they're staying at someone, a light bill in their name. But then, you know, ICE comes in and it's just like, we don't care about that. But another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that we only see that first instant when they get deportated from the city or from the U.S. back to where they came from. For the ones that are working here and already have jobs and already working on their visa, sometimes they do get accidentally picked up and then they go to the office, then they got to go speak in front of a judge. But a lot of times the news media does not follow up and tells you, remember such and such? He was a business owner here. He was waiting on his visa, but he got deportated. But then, you know, the right or the left try to use it as a spin story. Right? They don't tell you, well, he's back in the country because they let him back in because all his paperwork, you know, came back green, you know, came back good. Like they just let him back in and he got to wait 2 more months for his citizenship. I see that a lot with people that get deported and then they come back, or the one that got deported and pulled from his family. I think the lady had a businesses and she was talking to her employees and stuff, but she came right back in. No news coverage on that at all. Like, why did you make sure we saw this person get deportated, but you didn't follow back up on the story to show that this person got let back in after they looked through all the paperwork to make sure everything was right?
Well, we know the answer to that. We know it's because it doesn't fit their agenda. And what they want to portray. That's a weird as agenda to have, to sit there and be like, hey, we know that these people are not supposed to be here, but we're going to fight for their right to be here, to the degree that, you know, you got people out protesting. We watched the video. You got people out, like, laying out in front of the trucks. And I'm like, dude, that's, you know, there's something wrong with that. That's weird. But again, like I said, we'll have to talk about tribalism and how these people get able to be convinced into doing some of this stuff.
Do you believe in a paid protester thing? Because I see it all over the internet. And some of them are starting to admit it. Like, I'm paid to be. I'm getting paid $70,000
for some of this dumb shit. Like, you can't get me out there for free. So
and they calling them out on, hey, I know you get paid $70,000 a year to come out here and organize it. That's insane.
If the price is right, you'll see me out there protesting.
But getting a little bit off the topic,
black people.
Getting a little bit off the topic. I think it was mainly just, what do we feel about ICE being in in the city.
If you are just here to do your job and get criminals out that should not be here, you can't boy cry wolf. You can't.
Okay.
You can't. You cannot do it. If you're here as a criminal, if you find out your neighbor raped 3 women last year and he came here through Joe Biden, his process when he was in office, like you can't, how are you? What happened?
I mean, so for me, I guess, just to summarize it in like a quick,
I know
but mine just summarize real quick so we can go to the next topic. Like I said in the beginning, I'm agreeing and I'm glad that they are here getting the people who are not legally supposed to be here out of here. I would just like to see it handled a little bit more humanely.
Yeah,
and with a little bit more accuracy. Now, I'm not a SWAT strategic, person. I'm not a politician. I don't control I don't know how it would be achieved, but that's why I'm not I'm not the head of ICE. I'm sure whoever is the head of ICE should be able to figure out a way to do that without jamming up people who are here legally and without treating people who are not here legally, but who are not criminals,
but they get
not
picked up.
Treating them like they are criminals. Right. Even though he's stepping on the line, because if you're here illegally, he's technically a criminal, but still.
Yeah.
Right. Treat him with a little bit more dignity.
That to me, I was like right off the bat to answer that one. I'm still on the side of that no, for the simple fact is that you broke a rule, right? And we're all adults. So you broke a rule and you decided to make a run for it. Now, me personally, I'm all for it. So if you able to make a run for it and get away as long as you possibly can, just realize that you are breaking a rule and there are consequences for it. I'm not for you getting caught, whatever. Hey, you stay wherever you need to stay as long as it doesn't affect me and mine. Hey, I'm cool to that degree. But when you get caught, when they hunt you down, that's the consequence that you have to pay for not doing it the right way. Now, to back that up, it's funny that you had mentioned earlier about, they have IDs and all that. I'm from the South Side. I've been picked up several times, no bullshit. And you can go make some phone calls to people this used to happen to back in the 90s. Back in the day, if you got caught with no ID on the South Side, you young black, I was young and black at the time, so I was a natural suspect. The police ask you, do you have an ID, anything on you? Prove who you are.
Yeah, take you to the station if you can.
You got to go to the station for about a good 5 hours, and you got to sit there after they run your prints to make sure when your prints come back that you ain't nobody on some dirt. And then, luckily, 5 hours is like the earliest I've been in there for like almost a damn day. So if you're lucky to get your prints back in 5 hours, then they're going to release you. Now, to back that up, it's funny that you had mentioned earlier about, they have IDs and all that. I'm from the South Side. I've been picked up several times, no bullshit. And you can go make some phone calls to people this used to happen to back in the 90s. Back in the day, if you got caught with no ID on the South Side, you young black, I was young and black at the time, so I was a natural suspect. The police ask you, do you have an ID, anything on you? Prove who you are.
Yeah, take you to the station if you can.
You got to go to the station for about a good 5 hours, and you got to sit there after they run your prints to make sure when your prints come back that you ain't nobody on some dirt. And then, luckily, 5 hours is like the earliest I've been in there for like almost a damn day. So if you're lucky to get your prints back in 5 hours, then they're going to release you. You done lost a whole day. So to tell me that, you're from another country, I don't know you. I don't know what you did in the other country. I was like, you might be a nice guy, but you might chop people's heads off for a living. I don't know. So for you to get detained, like how I got detained back in the day, trust me, I'm not going to cry about that.
Yeah, even when you go to other countries and you stay there longer than you're supposed to, they kick you out the country, and you get fined.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like how should that be any different here? Of course you do got to address, if you know, how the news media is showing, like, why are you showing this versus that? Like, there are people that, you know, willingly be like, hey, like, you know, I'm here illegally, take me into custody. Let's go down to, you know, wherever the immigration courthouse, explain everything, and they get let back, right back out on the street, and they go right back home. But the news media doesn't show that. But, you know, that's a whole nother. I know we way past time.
We're way over. Listen, what we got coming up next?
I'm gonna break